really stood out to you that you liked from that weekend? Besides just beating the Gophers, that's the offense.
Well, number one, I think I said last week we're going to see how our guys respond to losing a game to Bemidji, and I thought we came back with a good week of practice, and certainly the guys weren't happy with the loss, but I like the fact that some of our key players played well, got on the boards, produced. I thought overall effort and compete level was way better, more consistent over 60 minutes. I thought our goaltending was solid again, and I thought our special teams, even though the power play didn't score on Saturday, I thought we did a good job both power play and penalty kill on the weekend, so we won that battle. So there was a lot of positive things. It was a good step, but still a lot of work to do.
With back-to-back series coming up against Hockey East teams, I know you played Notre Dame recently, but it seems like most of your non-conference games the last 2 years have been against the Big Ten and WCHA. Anything change when you go up against a league like this? Do you guys look at the big picture when you play teams like these from out east when it comes to the NCAA tournament picture?
Well,
it's way early for that. But.
I don't know. I mean, again, I look at this weekend just like I will next week as a very good hockey team that, we've got to go in and play well and continue to build on what we did, this past weekend, and hopefully our guys can do that. I mean, to me, that's about the process. I mean, it doesn't matter who you play. I mean, obviously, at the end of the year, when you look at the non-conference record, these are big games. Just like in 3 weeks, when we get into the league, they're big games. Every game is important, and I like the fact that we're going to see a couple teams coming up here in the next 2 weeks that do have different styles. So that's good. We'll see how we can adapt to some different things. But, right now it's more about playing our game and what we need to do, night in and night out to win games. And, if last weekend was an indicator, we're going in the right direction as far as just our overall play and some of the things we need to do. We got to clean up some lapses. I thought there was a couple both nights where we maybe lacked a little bit of intensity, and they kind of had their moment, and we always call it weathering the storm, which you kind of expect when you play Minnesota because they're a good team. But we just got to again keep striving for strong periods of play and minimize the lapses.
Jared Thomas, your thoughts on the start that he's had to this year?
I was really pleased with his weekend, and it started really had a great week of practice. So again, it's nice to see him get rewarded. It's nice to see him score some goals because he's a guy that can do that for us. But to me, it all started in practice on Monday, carried through the week, carried through the weekend, and so far this week he's been the same. So hopefully that's anytime a guy scores, who's the guy that himself expects to score, you get a couple goals, it builds their confidence, and maybe they put another little step in their skating and things like that where they get that little jump and they get that energy. But I thought he was really good for us last weekend, and hopefully that continues because we need him to be. He was another one of those guys that the opening weekend, and I don't like to criticize guys, but that can play better, and he did. To me, that's the positive. A lot of those guys took a step, played more like they're capable of playing, and we're going to need that every night. And some nights they might not score, but they can still be effective players for us night in and night out.
You had mentioned to me about Jared last season at times. He seemed to maybe, and he kind of mentioned this yesterday, that he sometimes got discouraged when he was playing on a lower line. But this year he said that's not the case. Are you kind of sensing a different attitude out of him?
Yeah, we had a chat about that. It's important. Every player on our team is valuable, and everybody has a big role, a small role. It could be the same role. It doesn't matter. But everybody's valuable, and their play shouldn't change. You shouldn't have to. The part those guys forget is we've all seen them play, and we know what they can do. So our job is to push them to make sure that they're playing at a level that they're capable of and beyond. And that's our job as coaches. And the reminders are that you can be better, and here's what you need to do to get better. And it shouldn't matter who you're playing with. If you play well, you develop trust and confidence in a coach, and you're going to play more. If you don't play at a level you're capable of, you don't develop that trust or you don't develop that confidence. And that's why I was very pleased with how our guys bounced back, and the guys that, without naming names, the guys that are key guys for us. I mean, everybody's important, but guys that we expect to score, expect to be factors, night in and night out, played better. The one consistent guy through all 3 games has been Cass. He's been good, and that's a great sign when your goalie's playing the way he is, and hopefully that'll continue for us because that's where it all starts.
Carson, how are you seeing him become an even better all-around player? Him and I talked about one of the things he was able to do this weekend was, get to the net and score a goal and help deflect it.
Coolman?
Carson Coolman, yeah, that was something he said, he didn't always get to do very well last
I thought Friday night he was outstanding for us. I thought it was one of the best games he's played, certainly this year for us, but he's so consistent. He's hard on pucks. He's a 200-foot player. He's not afraid to stay in those areas, but he's responsible defensively. I mean, I can go on, but I thought Friday was an outstanding game for him. I thought he was one of our best players, if not our best player on Friday. And it's nice to see him get rewarded again on Saturday with a goal, being in the right area, a little tip play, but I don't usually worry too much about him. He's pretty consistent and extremely coachable, and you don't have to tell him more than once what to do if there's something that he did wrong. So he's a key guy for us, and not that he played poorly against Bemidji, but he's a guy that is really consistent in the way he plays, what he brings. Now he's getting a little more ice time with being on the power play, and he's a key penalty killer for us. So he gets a lot of ice time, but there's a reason for that.
Where does Carson Coolman rank as a shot blocker? Because I feel like he comes out of nowhere sometimes to make some pretty big blocks. And he's a small guy. You don't always see small guys like that willing to lay themselves out and take them.
I don't want to rate him. I just like the willingness to do those things. And one in particular this year was the one in Bemidji. With 3 seconds left in the period, we lose a draw clean, and he lays out off a point shot and gets it in the ribs and bounces back up and goes to the locker room, and it's like it didn't. I know it hurt him, but he has the willingness, and to be a good shot blocker, you have to have a willingness to block shots, and he's one of those guys that does have that willingness to do that.
What's been his biggest source of improvement from year 1 to year 2?
Who's that?
Coolman.
Carson. Well, he's gotten stronger. I think his focus this year, he wanted to put on some weight and get stronger. I think he did that. I think last year when he started, there's the freshman nervousness, and maybe playing with some older guys too, gave up the puck a little bit more, a little bit faster than. I think he grew last year, even the first couple weeks after we kind of talked to him about you don't have to get rid of the puck, and you can hold on to it. And I think just you see that more this year too. I think you saw it as the year went on, but even more this year. But I think when you're stronger, it gives him more confidence too. And he's really good at protecting the puck. He's really good at body position. He's strong over the puck. Stick is always ready. You can video him and show kids and learn a lot. And he does a lot of things the right way. And that's why he's an effective player for us. But I think strength is probably the biggest thing, and confidence and the ability to play the way he's capable of playing. But I think that grew through the last year, and because he was a pretty effective player last year for us too. Probably one thing he'd probably like to do is score more. So he got his first, so maybe that opens the door.